Hello, my name is Alan Kay, and with me, as usual, is my colleague Michael Piston. We are attorneys who practice immigration, naturalization, visa, and consular law. We are immigration lawyers, and on this week's version of Immigration You, we're going to talk about naturalization, the process by which people become U.S. citizens. Now, I have two brochures dealing with naturalization. The first one is called General Requirements and Procedures for Naturalization, and the second one is called Preparing for the Civics and English Naturalization Test. Those of you who would like copies of these brochures, just get in touch with me and I'll be happy to send them to you. Now, as far as naturalization is concerned, people who are permanent residents and are married to U.S. citizens are generally eligible for naturalization after 3 years after they got their green card. If you're not married to an American citizen, you're eligible 5 years after you got the green card. So people then file their papers in N400, usually with USCIS, and then they're called for an interview in connection with their naturalization interview. Michael, why are some people denied or unsuccessful at their naturalization interviews?
Well, there could be many reasons. To make a long story short, they're unsuccessful because they may not qualify for naturalization. One thing which is always a problem for some people is the English language exam. Although it's usually fairly simple and the examiners often make an active effort to help people to pass, sometimes people's English is just not good enough to even communicate on a simple level. Then of course there's the civics exam. You have to have a certain basic knowledge of US civics. It's something that people can easily master with a little bit of study, but oftentimes people don't do that study, or for whatever reason they're not able to master the material. As a matter of fact, some people can't master the material because sadly they have some kind of mental disability which interferes with that, in which case there's a waiver for that particular purpose. Other reasons for not passing would be if the person cannot establish that they have been a person of good moral character during the 5 years or the 3 years in which they need to have been a permanent resident. For example, they may have been convicted of certain criminal offenses. So there's a whole wide range of reasons why somebody might not be able to successfully pass the naturalization exam.
And would you say that some people who apply for naturalization maybe should not, because not only will they get their application denied, but they could then be put into removal proceedings?
Well, absolutely, of course.
Why might that happen?
Well, there's a significant overlap between the grounds which are going to be found to be basis for determining that somebody is not a person of good moral character, and the grounds of deportation. For example, you can be found to be a person not of good moral character within the preceding 3 to 5 years if you've been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude. Often, conviction of crimes involving moral turpitude is a grounds for deportation. So certainly, one thing that you have to be very concerned about before even applying a naturalization application is to make sure that the process of applying for naturalization is not going to bring out that you are in fact removable.
So those people should never have filed in the first place, and the way they've determined that is by consulting with a good immigration lawyer who will go through the case and say, not only you should not file for naturalization, you will wind up possibly getting removed.
Well, I think the key word is possibly. There may be certain situations in which the person in fact is technically removable, but the case is otherwise sufficiently sympathetic that there's reason to believe that the examiners might grant them naturalization anyway.
Okay, we're running out of time on this particular program. We'll be back again soon talking about naturalization. For more information, contact Michael or me at the address and phone number listed below. Thank you for listening to Immigration, and you will be back soon.